Hey everybody, I want to share with you the first time smoking meat in the smoker that we got. We got a master built 30-inch electric smoker that takes wood chips. Now I want to tell you that one of the reasons that we got this smoker is you can set it and it'll maintain its temperature. But it is an electric smoker, and when we talk about becoming more self-sufficient, you need to understand something about our property. We have put on our property a solar array that will provide us with electricity. So that is a way we are becoming more self-sufficient. So the fact that it's an electric smoker doesn't really matter to us. The other reason we got something with wood chips rather than a pellet grill or one of those that has, the biscuits. So you can see here we have a lot of trees on our property and a number of them are dead, so we can use our own wood chips. So the meat I chose to smoke the first time was a pork butt because it seems like, it'd be pretty hard to mess up a pork butt, right? So I want to share with you what I did to get it ready and the temperature I smoked it on and for how long it took it to come up to the proper temperature for being done. And then what it looked like when I pulled it out and pulled it apart. So I thawed the pork butt in the fridge and then I pulled it out about an hour before I was going to get it ready for the smoker because I wanted it to come up to more of a room temperature before I put it in there. Then I went and turned on the smoker. I turned it on to 250 degrees and then came back in the house to prepare the pork butt because it does take about 30 minutes or so for that smoker to be up to temp. What I did was I patted it off to get all of the extra moisture off of the meat. The fat cap will be on the top. And in order for the spices to stick to the meat and stay on there, you need some sort of binder. So I am using yellow mustard here. It is an organic yellow mustard. It is 0 carbohydrates. And my understanding is that even with Dr. Ken Berry, he says mustard is okay. And this is only a very thin coating of mustard over the entire roast. So I put the mustard on and then I'm using a rub. If you watched the midweek video, I talked about oxalates. And so in this rub, I'm only using spices that are moderate to low on the oxalate scale. So in this rub, I have sea salt, smoked paprika, garlic powder, white pepper, and then just a little bit of cayenne pepper. And I want to show you, you can save your jars from other spices, just wash them out. This is what I've been doing. And then when I make my own spice mix, I will use one of these jars and it makes it really easy to sprinkle whatever it is then on whatever it is you're making. So I just reuse those jars. So now I was ready to go in the smoker. One thing that I discovered about the smoker that we got is the meat probe that comes with it is not very good. Like it's not very accurate. And I found this out because I wanted to test it out. I have my own meat probe thermometer, so I decided to stick that in there as well. And guys, it was as much as 50 degrees off throughout the cook. So it was not a good meat probe, and I'm so glad I decided to whip out my own. But this allows me to monitor it from inside the house and make sure that it's continuing to go up in temperature, and then it will set off an alarm when it's at the temperature. So this is about a 10.5 pound pork butt. I'm smoking it at 250 degrees. I'm looking for it to come to temperature between 195 and 205, somewhere in there. because I have read that that's the sweet spot for smoking a pork butt, when it's the most tender. It ended up taking nearly 9 hours to smoke this pork butt. And last weekend our grandkids were over and they were getting hungry, so at like 7 p.m. I pulled it, and it was only 193 degrees, but I thought, close enough, my grandkids are hungry. So I pulled it off, and here is what it looked like.
Man.
Hey now, that was supposed to be the cook's. You can split it in half.
I have to tell you that as I was shredding it, it looked fantastic right under that fat cap. The fat cap had rendered down nicely, kept all of that meat at the top moist. But when I got to the bottom part of the roast, it was pretty dry. I'm not sure what I should have done. Maybe I should have wrapped it in foil partway through. I've seen people wrapping their meat that they're smoking. So let me know down in the comments if I would have wrapped that, at what point should I have wrapped it at? And does that make a big difference in the dryness of the bottom part of my roast? But even though that bottom part was a little dry, man, was it good. It was absolutely delicious. I shredded it. I added a little more of the rub into the meat and mixed it around. And I'll tell you what, we had pork taco. We had it by itself. The grandkids had pork tacos with it, shredded pork tacos. And they had 2 or 3, I think, meals on that smoked pork, and they loved it. So it was delicious. Leave me comments down in the bottom if you have tips and suggestions for me. Tomorrow I'm going to be smoking picanha, and also I'm going to be smoking a really good treat that's awesome for things like tailgates. We're coming up into fall, and if you're a football person and you like to do the tailgating, then this might be an awesome carnivore recipe that you could do for a tailgate that everybody will love. They don't have to be carnivore to love this recipe. So we're going to do that also, and I'm going to be sharing another video of how to make that yummy, savory, delicious treat. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.